Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, a massive sinkhole swallows at least 2 Pasco County homes and leads to several other homes in Land O'Lakes neighborhood to be evacuated.
This is one of hundreds of sinkholes forming every year in Florida, closing roads and destroying homes. So how common are they on the Sun Coast? ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us to explain. Jess.
Good evening, Haley and Scott. It's a terrifying sight to see. The ground opens up and homeowners lose everything. And it happened less than 100 miles from here. It leaves some people on the Sun Coast wondering, could this happen to me?
A sinkhole 200 feet wide, 50 feet deep, opens up, swallowing homes, boats, and pools in a Pasco County neighborhood. And officials say it is still growing.
And I believe that the hydrologic conditions, this drought followed by the rainfall, triggered that collapse, and very, very unfortunate.
No one was injured. 2 dogs were rescued. Officials say a sinkhole has opened up there before, and the homeowner opted to not get it fully repaired.
They can try to repair sinkholes by injecting cement into the ground.
Florida has more sinkholes than any other state in the nation, Pasco County being the most prone area of the state. But according to the State Department of Environmental Protection, sinkholes are not common on the Sun Coast.
Pretty much like getting hit by lightning. It's very rare. We do have them in Florida.
So why are counties just north of the Sun Coast so sinkhole prone?
It really boils down to differences in the geology, and that particular area, you've got limestone, thick sequences of limestone, and that's where the sinkholes form, these cavern systems form.
Limestone underground is covered by sand and clay.
I've investigated probably I've been in Sarasota County for a little over 20 years, probably half a dozen or so so-called sinkholes, and they've all been related to kind of man-made activities, buried debris or leaking pipes.
But it does happen, and there are warning signs. If you have heavy-duty cracking in the walls or the corner of your home starts to settle, a sinkhole may be forming.
Every now and then we have a sudden collapse, but it's not typical.
Although tragic, geologists are not surprised to see this sinkhole open up. The severe drought that we had, followed by a strong rainy season, those limestone cavern systems that could be underground for thousands of years will collapse, and it creates those sinkholes. Haley.
Thank you, Jess. Sarasota City Manager is now being hailed as a hero. Tom Barwin, along with 2 Good Samaritans, subdued an attempted robbery suspect. According to city officials, 28-year-old Jason Perez was attempting to rob an elderly woman at St. Martha Catholic Church yesterday. In this surveillance video, you can see Perez walking up to the church with no shirt on. Barwin, who was bicycling to lunch right near Orange Avenue and 2nd Street, saw Perez screaming and walking down the middle of the road toward oncoming traffic. Barwin says Perez then attacked a woman walking out of the church. That's when he and 2 construction workers sprung into action.
I jumped on my bicycle, raced over there as quickly as I could, and about halfway I heard screams. And I really pictured pictured him being on top of somebody, pummeling him. That was my worst fear.
Perez did not calm down, but Barwin and 2 construction workers were able to hold him until police arrived. As for the victim, she was allegedly hit in the head, but is okay.
Drivers on the Sun Coast may want to check their personal records after 2 more gas skimmers are found. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say 2 skimmers were discovered at a Marathon gas station in Bradenton on Manatee Avenue West yesterday afternoon. Deputies say the discovery was made while maintenance on the pumps was being performed. It's unknown yet if any customer's personal information has been compromised.
I know that my mother would never pay at a pump, and I always thought she was being a little bit too cautious, but now I find myself going inside the stores to pay as well. It's too common, I guess, for me. It's something they're going to have to work on, I guess, and until we start paying with cash only, it's going to keep happening.
Florida Department of Agriculture has some tips for drivers on how to avoid these gas skimmers. Some of them include make sure the gas pump is closed and sealed, use a pump close to the store, and avoid using PIN numbers on your debit card if you can. Drivers who suspect their credit card number has been compromised in this recent incident should report it immediately to authorities and their credit card company.
A Sarasota music nonprofit is out $5,000 after trying to sell a piano through a consignor who is now facing felony charges for theft. The Sarasota Music Archive was working with a Largo-based consignment shop to sell a grand piano like this one. But months after taking the Steinway piano away, the group says it could not get a hold of the consignor. The nonprofit's vice president, Sylvia Eckes, says that eventually they found out the man had filed for bankruptcy and had stolen dozens of other pianos as well. Eckes says the situation breaks her heart.
I don't know what would propel him to go to the extremes that he did in order to defraud so many people when he had apparently a pretty good reputation.
Police in Largo charged Randy Sheets with grand theft for the case involving the Sarasota Music Archives and dozens of similar incidents totaling nearly $250,000.
Federal Aviation Administration is investigating a crash of landing of a small plane at Venice Municipal Airport. Investigators say a student pilot was at the controls of a single-engine Mooney and trying to land just past 10:30 this morning. That's when they encountered crosswinds on the runway and the student lost control. The instructor took over, but the plane still ended up in a ditch, damaging its nose gear and propeller. No one was hurt, though, and the investigation continues.
And now for a check on our forecast as we get ready to head into the weekend. Let's head over to Bob.
Thanks, Haley. We have had some showers around the coastal communities earlier today. That's now since winding down and pushing off to the west, although still some light rainfall. Anna Maria also into northwest Bradenton. But from Sarasota down to Venice, it's not all that bad in terms of rain. We have some clouds there. The heavier storms are well inland now. We have some showers right there near Mayaca City, pushing to the northwest at 10 miles an hour. Some pretty heavy rainfall. There are a few lightning strikes. Nothing severe at this point. It looks to be pretty quiet, although we are looking at more rain developing just to the southeast of Punta Gorda. This is all kind of moving closer to the coast, so we'll keep a 20% chance for a few coastal showers in the mix through this evening. 80 degrees right now. A few clouds, debris clouds left over from the storms that were around earlier. The dew point pretty high at 75. We have an east to southeast wind at 5 and the pressure 30-10. What that means is high pressure is going to continue to dominate our weather. Look at all the clear skies to the east of the Bahamas and over the Bahamas. That's what we're in store for the weekend, as some dry air is set to move in and change things up a little bit. We'll have the details on that in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Senate Republicans are heading home with a new version of the health care bill to review, and the race is on to drum up enough votes to pass it. Today, the president and vice president are weighing in on this health care saga. ABC's Emily Rao is following this story from Washington.
Vice President Mike Pence addressed a gathering of governors from across the country Friday afternoon, selling the Senate's revised version of the health care bill.
The Senate health care bill gives states the freedom to redesign your health insurance markets, reform Medicaid, and bring better coverage, better care, and better outcomes to the most vulnerable in your states.
Medicaid remains a major sticking point in this bill, with deep cuts to the program initially projected to be nearly $800 billion still intact. A big problem for holdouts.
We're still working on ways to ensure that folks who are currently getting coverage under expanded Medicaid have options that are, accessible and affordable.
The revised version, an attempt to win over moderates. It keeps some Obamacare taxes on the wealthy, puts aside $70 billion that could help some Americans cover high premiums, and gives $45 billion to help fight the opioid epidemic. And for conservatives not happy with the last bill, the new one allows insurers to offer inexpensive plans that don't cover essential health benefits like mental health treatment, maternity care, and ambulance services. President Trump making it clear in his weekly address he's ready to sign on the dotted line.
I am pleased to report that we are very, very close to ending this health care nightmare.
Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes if they want this bill to pass. The nation's largest group of doctors, the American Medical Association, says this new version falls short on coverage and access it provides to Americans. Emily Rao, ABC News, Washington.
For more than 2 decades, local Planned Parenthood CEO Barbara Dravecki has taken the necessary precautions to keep herself, her staff, and their patients safe. Dravecki announcing her retirement yesterday. She describes her tenure as the greatest joy of her life. As for her transitioning into retirement now, Dervecki says that it's been in the planning stages for quite a while, and despite the fact lawmakers in Washington are trying to defund Planned Parenthood, she says the organization will serve the community for a long time to come.
We're in the growth mode. We're opening a new health center in Tampa in the next couple weeks, and everything is set, I think, for moving forward, and I can move at the same time.
Dervecki will stay in her current role until January while the board looks for a new CEO. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a fresh start for our returning veterans. How one chef is spearheading a cooking program with a purpose.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, the best time to work out. Why you may want to wait until later in the day to get in your daily exercise. That's next.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at CaliforniaClosets.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Get the hottest deals of the year during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at CaliforniaClosets.com.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
A chef training program on the Suncoast is hoping to give veterans who are struggling a fresh start.
ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter shows us how the Vets to Chefs program works.
Good job. To veteran Brian Jacobs, it's not just about making food. It's about changing lives after losing his own brother.
You know, it came from this heavy blow in my life of losing him. On May 28th, which was Memorial Day weekend, I lost him to veteran suicide. And I tell this story because I want people to understand that there's still hope for them.
Hope he thought he lost after serving 2 tours in Iraq as a combat medic. When he got out in 2005, his next phase of life would be plagued with post-traumatic stress disorder, alcoholism, and homelessness.
I got out thinking that I was going to get these great jobs, that I was going to get these opportunities. In fact, it was completely opposite. I found myself in a situation where I never thought I would be after serving my country. Living in a Honda Accord, kind of self-medicating, and then heard a voice, and it was, get your life together, son.
In 2012, Jacobs enrolled in USF Sarasota Manatee's Hospitality Management Program. That's when his love for cooking took off. He started the Vets to Chefs program in hopes of helping others just like him.
When I got out, I had a little bit of a struggle, coming home.
Depression, anxiety, coming back, I hadn't seen my family in like 5 years.
Jacobs partnered with numerous organizations like Goodwill Manasota and USF-SM's Culinary Innovation Lab to help veterans find a place and purpose after serving.
I wrote a curriculum. I put this brainchild together, and it's like, what are the basic needs and essentials of culinary? What's going to give them the best education, the fastest, give them the fastest job?
And the Vets to Chefs program is accomplishing just that.
There you go. Nice. Nice. Takes practice. They recreate dishes. They create their own dishes based upon using simple, basic items, and they're inspired.
It's lifted me to a better place. It's motivated me.
Through this program, I was able to find what I wanted out of life.
Since the program's start 3 years ago, 25 veterans have graduated, with 7 more expected to finish in the coming weeks.
I tell people that anything I can do in this world, I'm going to do my best to make all the impact I can, because there was one that I couldn't reach. And that is my reason every day for doing this.
In Sarasota, Jacqueline Matter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
That's a very cool way to reach out to the vets. One way that you wouldn't have thought of, maybe an untraditional veteran type job. So it's very cool.
That is inspirational too. There, yeah. USF Sarasota Manatee County, doing some good things right there. We had some showers around there earlier. Those have since moved off into the Gulf of Mexico, and things are looking pretty good right now. The Van Wezel webcam indicating a nice day today. A lot of sunshine, a few clouds coming in around 3 o'clock, a few brief showers. There they are, moving on through, and then nothing to really report after that. Light rain lingering up in northwest portions of Manatee County right now. The bigger storms are inland, and even those aren't all that big at this point. And looks as though that's going to be a trend. We're looking for some drier air to slip in just in time for the weekend, and that means a lot more sunshine and limited shower and thunderstorm activity, both on Saturday and Sunday. There's the line that moved through around 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon. I mentioned the light rain. It's still around parts of Braden and Palmetto, stretching out toward, it looks like, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Also, we see some showers and storms here in eastern portions of Manatee County. Those are right there near Mayaca City, and Parrish may get a little bit of this action here in the next hour or so as it works its way off in that direction. Well, the satellite review showing a lot of clear skies here in the southwest Atlantic. Now, this is where the dry air is in place. It's slowly inching our way, and it looks like will be with us through Saturday and Sunday. Normally the rain chance around 50 to 60%. That rain chance will only be at around 30% on both days. There'll still be a few around, don't get me wrong, but not nearly as much as we normally would expect. And you can see it right there, stretching in from the Bahamas westward into Miami now, Fort Pierce, all the way down into the Keys. We have still that moisture supply around right now, but as I said, that'll be exiting off to the west over the upcoming 12 hours. Now, 80 degrees. Currently, we have a few clouds, and the dew point temperature is fairly high. Winds out of the east to southeast at 5, and the pressure 30-10. And that's high, and 87 degrees. That's not too bad. In Orlando, 91. A little bit warmer in Miami right now due to that dry air that's in place and no rain around. The extended forecast, or at least the future cast, showing those clouds and showers moving off into the Gulf overnight, mostly fair. Tomorrow, nice day. We'll start off sunshine mixed with a few clouds, and then just 1 or 2 lone showers anticipated throughout the afternoon and evening. Not much, just a few, and looks like similar conditions expected on Sunday. Then we'll get back into more of that rainy pattern with more numerous storms beginning Monday to start the work week. Well, the satellite review over the U.S. is showing this little frontal boundary that has slipped in across parts of West Virginia and into Kentucky, stretching all the way over to Missouri. Right now, the fair skies and cooler temperatures have moved into places like Detroit and Chicago and Minneapolis, all in the 70s and even low 80s now. Comfortable day in Toronto, Boston at 64 degrees, but the heat is on out west and in the northern plains and northern Rockies all the way into the mid-90s as far north as Minot, North Dakota. Hotter there than it was here, right in Florida and southwest Florida. For boaters, winds out of the east tomorrow. They'll start off at 10 knots. then turn around to the south, then switch back to the southwest at around 5 knots in the afternoon. Seas will be at 2 feet, subsiding to 1 foot in the afternoon. Bays and inland waters will be having a light chop there. Water temperature at 88 degrees, and the tides upcoming on the screen. Low tide will be at 12:01 and a high at 5:49. Tonight, scattered showers, a few storms possible. Most areas just partly cloudy skies, 75, and seasonal conditions tomorrow. A high of 92 and 30% chance for those afternoon thunderstorms. The extended forecast does call for a little bit better chance of rain on Monday, and then we stay at 50% all the way through the work week next week. Scott?
Okay, Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch, right now we have reports of a crash in Sarasota County. It's on I-75 in the southbound lanes, right at the State Road 681 exit there. It is not tying up traffic, though, too bad. You can see a lot of green on the map. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, gut bacteria is becoming more and more linked to the state of our health and our risk of certain diseases. Now scientists are zeroing in on bacteria in the eye and how it can be helpful to us. It was previously thought that microbes don't take up residence in the eye. Now a study by the National Eye Institute suggests the eye hosts a variety of bacteria that protects against disease. Researchers found a certain strain of bacteria living in the eyes of mice that elicits an immune system response that protects against the growth of pathogens. The team is not sure if this same situation exists in humans, but they say it is likely. You may have heard it is best to work out in the morning because you might get busy in the evening and blow it off after work. But when we're talking about peak performance, you may be better off exercising in the late afternoon. A study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research shows that's when strength and flexibility are the greatest. And perceived exertion, meaning how hard you feel that your body is working, is the lowest. Scientists say that's because our circadian rhythm causes body temperatures to rise throughout the day and peak in the late afternoon. There may be a downside to adolescents using fitness trackers. A school in England has banned them and smartwatches after teachers discovered some young women were skipping lunch if their daily activity levels weren't met over fears of gaining weight. School officials say they worry the trackers are affecting the teens' mental health and creating an obsession with body image at a very vulnerable time in life. Coming up, severe flooding and rescues, what crews are doing to save those trapped by the high waters. Plus, a piece of Apollo 11 mission, how you can get one of Neil Armstrong's most beloved space possessions. That's straight ahead.
The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio charmed us all and crippled the competition. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Alfa Romeo got a lot right with the Giulia, but the handling alone is sufficient reason to get one. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.